let's have our top stories. Eleven suspects under police custody for vandalizing telecommunications network in Garwa. The suspects are notorious for hostage taking. Optical fiber lines have been damaged by this notorious gang, and consumers drill on their rights as amid rising cost of living in the country. With the inflationary situation, many of them say they have decided to cut on their budget. Top stories. Canal and welcome to join me. I'm Kejang Henry Atimbindwala. You can hook up with us on our social media handle on YouTube and, of course, on our Facebook page to get the news as it rolls out. A notorious gang of 11 has been helmed by security operatives in the northern part of the country. This gang is noted for vandalizing telecommunications lines, and amongst those that have been damaged are that belonging to the Cameroon Telecommunications Canal. In fact, specialized in hostage taking, they have switched their activities by destroying optical fiber lines. As we hear from you, Maureen D. with courtesy from Aissatou Buba.
Insecurity is on the rise in Garoua, north region of Cameroon. This is a notorious gang that has taken the town hostage for the past 4 months. The gang of 11 has extended their activities towards targeting telecommunications cables and other facilities of the Cameroon Telecommunications Canal, sabotaging the optical fiber network around the northern grid.
L'interpellation de ces suspects est le fruit d'une bonne collaboration, d'une saine collaboration entre les populations et la sûreté nationale.
According to security reports, the disruption has caused enormous damage to the economy. Many neighborhoods are seriously affected as they are not connected to the internet. It is the same scenario in the public and private sectors. These facilities represent the cut-off points between transmission and distribution.
Thanks very much, Maureen D. We swing over to the northwest region, particularly in Cambe, some 150 kilometers from the chief town of Bamenda, where the government has granted the Cambe District Hospital a status of a divisional hospital.
Situated more than 150 kilometers from Bamenda, government has granted the Cambe District Hospital in Donga Mantung Division in the Northwest region the status of a regional hospital annex. To manifest their happiness, thousands of people drawn from all the 5 subdivisions, that is Ako, Misaje, Ndu, Mwa, and Cambe Central, recently converged on the chief town Cambe for a thank you public meeting in the presence of the senior divisional officer.
When you see that mothers, fathers, young people have labored from far and wide to come and express this wish, it is because it's a capital wish, and they will want that these new units be created in order to speed the development of the place.
Before now, patients with complications had to travel long distances like Bamenda for medical care. Having chosen the path of peace since the beginning of the socio-political crisis, the people through their spokespersons see the new Cambe Regional Hospital as signs of bigger things to come, especially the several decades old wish for the creation of a far northwest savannah region.
The government have chosen the path of peace. They have chosen to respect state institutions, and we expect that in return the state will do much of. That is why, while thanking the head of state today for the regional hospital, we were equally appealing that he grants our appealing that he should grant our wish of a far northwest savannah region.
Bordered by other divisions like Menchum, Mbui, and even Nigeria, so too are invalids from these areas. Future beneficiaries of the health services of a regional hospital as health equipment are progressively being made available.
Sheriff Asale reporting there on the Cambe hospital that has been elevated to a regional hospital. The National Assembly of Cameroon might be moving to its new permanent site within 15 months if everything moves well. The announcement was made by the Supervisory Committee during a visit led by the Speaker of the House, Kavai Jege Shibril. Details with Haisinchia from Yaoundé.
Kavaye Yege Jibril and the members of parliament at the construction site of the National Assembly, Waikele neighborhood in Yaoundé, this March 15, to take stock of work evolution. And with the structure already gaining an attractive look, the speaker could not hold back his emotions towards the beautiful realization. Bravo to the President of the Republic. All Cameroonians should be very proud of this achievement. I have been in the National Assembly for over 40 years, and I have never seen such a beautiful and gigantic building for a National Assembly anywhere in Africa. On behalf of the members of Parliament, I sincerely say thanks to the President.
Merci très sincèrement parce que j'ai vu ce que vous avez fait.
With the inner part of the hemicycle rated at over 75% work progress and a visible advancement of the administrative block, the project supervisor reassures Cameroonians.
The work is going very well, and I hope that in 15 months we'll be able to come and start our work here.
This as work in the different facets of the new glass house continues unperturbed.
Thanks, Haisin Chair. And we come back to Douala, where many consumers are not really aware of their rights. In fact, this is the conclusion by the caucus of the Consumers' Rights Protection. Now, with the inflationary situation, many consumers are saying that they have decided to cut on their expenditure to make ends meet. Ambo Gladys Ziba.
The common challenges before the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, and the government of Cameroon issues at the center of the working session the visiting Deputy Managing Director, Kenji Okamura, had with Cameroon's Minister of Finance and that of Economic Planning and Regional Development.
One is growth, strong, inclusive, resilient, and diversified growth.
This also as Cameroon has strong needs of investment, social spending, and others.
I underscore the importance of creating fiscal space, and we discussed how we can approach to this important question. We discussed resource mobilization, particularly domestic resource mobilization, how to attract, mobilize private capitals, and public financial management and structural reforms agendas on the table.
Kenji Okamura saluted Cameroon's State's program as firmly on track.
Last week, the IMF Executive Board approved the third review of your program under IMF-supported program to Cameroon. And I just congratulated the significant progress made.
Possible next step to the future was also on the discussion table. Kenji Okamura, 48-hour stay in Cameroon, includes meeting the President of the Republic, the Prime Minister, holding working session with IMF office staff, meeting with the Governor of BEAC, President of CIMAC Commission, and visit to a non-governmental organization.
That was Ested Beatrice Ngamo reporting there from Yaoundé on the visit of the Japanese emissary. Now we come back to this story where many consumers are not really aware of their rights, and this conclusion has been made by the caucus of Consumers' Rights Protection. Now, with the inflationary situation, many of these consumers are saying that they are going to cut down on their domestic expenditure. Ambo Gladys Ziba reports.
Market injustices, unnecessary speculations, inadequate products, unfair term of sales, and poor after-sales services are just a handful of practices that consumers deal with daily in Cameroon. But with ignorance, many are unable to defend their rights, especially in the face of rising inflation.
It is not easy for consumers with this rising inflation, but we are forced to accept the situation. The only thing is to adapt to the new prices. We can't do anything. The only thing to do is to express indignation when we are given the opportunity to do so on the media.
Upgrading knowledge on their rights as consumers and carrying out purchases within their budget lines are some of the strategies consumers adopt to cope with the inflationary situation.
With
rising inflation and as a consumer with limited means, I do my best to cut down on my needs. For example, if I use 2 liters of oil a week, I will do everything to bring it down to 1 liter in order to cope with the inflationary situation.
To defend my rights as a consumer, I make sure I attend conferences to better understand the rights of consumers and know products as well as their quality, so that I can in turn educate others who are ignorant. Consumers' rights groups tell consumers producers are nothing without consumers. But because they are economically weak and vulnerable, they have to be protected against market injustices. Government, they say, must play its role to protect the consumers.
Thanks, Ambo Gladys. A delegation of Japanese businessmen is in Cameroon to scout for business opportunities. And one of the sectors that actually caught the interest of the dweller of the businessmen is the Douala Bunaberi ports, which is expanding and, of course, attractive how they are interested in the country. The Douala Bunaberi seaport is attracting more and more investors. This time around is a delegation of Japanese business class. Their area of interest is for logistic investment and infrastructure.
Today, the Douala Port Authority is introduced to us the expansion of the plan for the Douala Port. That is we are very interested. But in future, if we can, we want to join such kind of the plan.
Classified as the most modern port in the Central African sub-region, the Douala Port is extending its facilities towards Manuka, where a new platform for a DC port would be constructed.
The Japanese investors are very interested by the Port of Douala master plan, development master plan. We have adopted this master plan for a long time. This is a development plan for 30 years. That is for the period 2020 to 2050 to develop the port. And this master plan includes various projects to rehabilitate and modernize our infrastructures in order to let the port be more competitive and more attractive in the future.
The Douala Bunaberi port is the gateway to landlocked countries like Central African Republic, Chad, and the northern part of Congo. This, of course, is a strategic opportunity for the Japanese delegation, as Douala will serve as a hub for the African Intercontinental Free Trade Zone. With its expansion program, Douala Port is expected to hit the target as one of the busiest ports along the West African coast by 2063. And the Yaoundé Ganako Obstetric and Pediatric Hospital in Goussou has been enriched with a dedicated pediatric theater to provide safe surgical care for children. Now, 3 of the theater, especially for children with cleft lips, was commissioned, and we have this detail with our Yaoundé chief correspondent, Beatrice Ngamo.
This baby is just back from the surgical block following correction of the cleft lip. Like her are these others who are in the ward. After undergoing similar surgical intervention to arrange the facial congenital malformation they are born with. The commission of this pediatric theater yesterday will help in providing essential surgical care for the children.
to help improve access to safe quality pediatric surgery care for children. And we know it's going to go a long way to help provide that very essential care for children who deserve to go through a surgical procedure.
It is having the state-of-the-art equipment, according to the director of the hospital.
Everything there is modern as at 2023. So like anesthetic machines are the machines of today. Even the operation table is that of today. You can turn it any way you want to turn it, as you can see anywhere in the world.
The good thing about the project is that it's not just surgery.
We are looking at pre-surgery care, nutrition, we're looking at rehabilitative care, speech therapy, orthodontics, oral health, and of course ENT, which is audiology.
Initiative of Smile Train. And today, some 35,000 patients can smile.
So they are giving smiles to Cameroonians, and that is the best thing that we can expect from collaborators like them. So all the children that are born with malformations of the palate and their lips, correction has been done here.
With the surgical theatre now available, patients with cleft lip and palate are welcome anytime at the Yaoundé Ganako Obstetric Hospital.
And that report there by Beatrice Ngamo draws the curtain for this edition of the 6:15 News, produced by Sharifa Saliant, Wonchuan Collins. I've been Kejang Henry Atibe, thanking you for watching. And we are swinging straight to Yaoundé to meet Shanice Kamga, who is standing by with the debrief de l'actualité. From all of us, it's goodbye.